Simon, mate, thanks so much for joining me here. Really just to catch up, obviously, on your progress whilst being in the program, but obviously, the progress of your business since you bought it, and just to really, I guess, recognize and reflect and learn from the really amazing things that you did to, sell out your stock in January of 2024, which is, amazing. So, mate, I mean, just to kick off, I'd love just for you to kind of just introduce what your business does and who they're for, and potentially, where you were before even we met. That would be awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Will. So we recently bought into my wife's a teacher. I work full time. We recently bought a teacher resources business, focusing on teacher planners and teacher notebooks and stuff like that. The idea was to build the business so that in the next couple of years, my wife could take a break from teaching and potentially run that. So we bought the business in October. None of us have e-commerce backgrounds or experience, so this was all brand new to us, which was extremely exciting and very scary at the same time. But yeah, we bought the business in October. We realized we did need some help because of that lack of experience, and yeah, we sort of reached out to you, and we're very happy we did that.
Yeah, amazing. And I mean, yeah, being so fresh into ecom, like I know the feeling. My brother and I reached like we left our corporate jobs to actually start the business just stupidly, but naivety, and
Yeah,
sort of landed on our feet. But yeah, it's a way to obviously expedite and just get that guidance specifically that you need. So I mean, it's been so great, obviously, having you in here. With what was kind of the first few things you recall were kind of helpful that we went through? I know we kind of I think we started a bit of a baseline in terms of like even the messaging and conversion and stuff like that. But yeah, do you recall what we kind of went through initially to kind of set you on your way and feel confident with the strategy moving forward?
yeah. So I think the biggest thing for us, I mean, there's so much out there. I mean, you can YouTube for days and you will find resources. You can Google, and that's part of the problem is there's just so much noise out there, and when you don't know what you don't know, it is absolutely daunting.
Mm.
Everyone's saying something different. So I think the biggest thing for us when we came into the community, yourself and Kirk really simplified things. There was probably a list of maybe 3 things that we focused on in the beginning. We try to get those right, and the results were astonishing. From what we were doing, we didn't change too much. We did a few little things, and our sales, yeah, they increased drastically.
Mm.
And it wasn't nothing fancy. We've got no experience. It's something sort of anyone could do. So yeah, I mean it's just so exciting because making such small changes can have great results. So it's very exciting to think sort of what's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that you put it perfectly, and that's the good news. With a business that has fundamentally a product that people want, right? And that's what we all hope we have products are, and yours definitely are. It's actually a matter of just changing things or positioning things or really doing the simple things. That's probably a misconception of people about why they can't crack the code, for example. It's like, what am I doing wrong? Well, it's like, well, you could be 6 inches from gold if you just position it
Yeah.
like this, or change this like this, or
Yeah.
do this, or do it for a touch longer, or whatever it might be, tapping on the right hole kind of thing. So that's the best result when it's something so simple and you see that beautiful exponential result. So I mean, that's awesome. And I know again from experience, there's nothing better than just having like this calm of like, okay, I know I'm
Yeah.
on the right path, and having confidence with what you're actually doing. And then, yeah, inevitably seeing the result from that is just an awesome, awesome experience. And yeah, so much obviously more to come, I know, for you guys, of course. But I mean, one of the big things, of course, was that you had reached kind of your milestones of, 14, 15, 16K sort of a month, like organically, right? Like, was that
Yeah,
something you thought you would do, or, were you surprised by
absolutely.
that? Mm,
Oh, we are over the moon. So,
mm,
so we're just going back a bit. When we bought the business with enough stock to get us through the season. Because we're selling planners, it's like a diary. Not many people will buy a diary in March, April, May. So our goal was to sell out our stock by January, February. In October, when we bought the business, our numbers weren't at a point where we were going to sell that stock. So we had to do something. And when we joined, yeah, so we literally got our emails correct. Our socials we post every day on, and our numbers, yeah, I mean, we could see from November that our numbers were meeting points where we're going to sell that stock out.
mm.
Yeah, our conversion rate, I think, went from 1.5% to high 2%. And that was just
It's huge.
simple things. So
Mm,
one of
mm,
the things was just decreasing freight slightly, and
yeah,
it made the world of difference.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, just those little tweaks, it's been amazing.
that's awesome. That's
And
really
as you
good.
said, we haven't spent 1 cent on paid advertising just because we don't know what we're doing, so we don't want to throw money out
Yeah,
there not knowing what we're doing.
yeah.
But
Hmm.
the fact that we were able to achieve, I mean, we've sold out our stock now. The fact that we were able to achieve that without spending money makes me hugely excited for this year, where we're actually going to learn how to put that money into paid advertising.
Absolutely. And it'll come at really good timing, towards that end of the year. We'll be really gearing up for that back end of the year. So that's going to be, really exciting for you guys. I mean, just a question, I guess, around the community and I guess the resource and stuff like that. Have you found all that pretty easy to use? Has it been valuable for you? Like, what's kind of your
Oh,
thoughts
yeah,
on that?
very user friendly. The community itself, I was just thinking the other day, like there's not many places where you would get to rub shoulders or communicate so openly with such successful e-commerce brands and business owners.
Mm,
So that is invaluable. And it's not you don't just rub shoulders with them, is they're just so willing to help. They're
mm,
so friendly. They sharing stuff with their business that you wouldn't actually hear in the outside of the community. And those things can be applied to most of the time can be
yeah.
applied to your business. So it's just so invaluable.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. That's really great. I mean, that's definitely something that people get really pleasantly surprised by when they come in because yeah, of course they have specific challenges and things that they want solved, from a mentor or something like Kirk or myself, but they find that they get so much value from the community and just feeling like everyone wants a place to belong. Really, it's like a human need,
Yeah,
really. And but as you say, from the relationships and the transparency in there, because as business
yeah,
owners, we have, online business owners, we have connection with the world, and yet we're so like isolated in our own circumstance and environment that it's really challenging.
yeah.
So that's so
And
good to have, that
I
feedback and
mean,
that level of comfort.
the entrepreneurial journey can be very lonely at times. So just being in that environment, yeah, makes a world of difference.
Very much, very much. And
Yeah,
the thing that I really, really, really love is like with getting help and whatnot, is actually, celebrating and being able to acknowledge the achievements because again, like as entrepreneurs and even sometimes our partners and like our family and friends, they don't quite understand what we do. And we don't even feel comfortable kind of celebrating milestones. So to be in an environment where people understand what you're going through, what the hard work you've done, and then being able to legitimately, genuinely celebrate with you, like I just love that aspect that people feel
yeah,
comfortable to do that. And
yeah. And it's so
obviously,
important.
mm, mm,
Like there's in entrepreneurial journeys, there's so many troughs. So
yeah,
when you do hit those milestones, it's really important to celebrate them, because it's not always easy, as I'm
Yeah.
sure you're aware.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I guess just finally, Simon, like knowing kind of what you know, and to be honest, you were really, I'd call it wisdom, but like, really quite quick to acknowledge that you guys needed some help or guidance. Like, what would you sort of say to people before they have had or getting sort of help and guidance with progressing along their businesses, knowing kind of what you know now on sort of the other side? Like, if you can put yourself back in their frame of mind and look, retrospectively, what do you think?
um, I suppose one, you can't put a value, as I said before, on the people that you meet in this group. I can't think of anywhere else where you'd sort of get that.
Mm,
But from a financial point of view, I reckon we paid off the investment within the first month, with the sales that we got. Um, I mean, I mentioned it to you earlier, but we've sort of got into contact with someone in the same space, and there's potentially a deal that we're doing within the community that would have paid this investment off threefold. So yeah, it's certainly worth it. Yeah, we're just so happy. I mean, I think it's probably the biggest reason that we have sold out of our stock. So we're just so happy that we took the plunge. And
amazing.
I think you said that, what was the imperfect action is better than
Mm. Yeah,
perfect inaction.
that's it.
And that's exactly it. You just got to take the plunge, and um, you'll get through on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's awesome just hearing that because yeah, like it is scary. And I've invested in tens of thousands in entrepreneurship and mentorship and stuff. And yeah, it gets easier as you do it because you understand like the byproduct of it. But certainly that first one is really daunting. But nothing's without um risk and nothing's without feeling nervous. But to know what you come through on the other side is awesome.
Yeah,
To have that hindsight.
yeah,
So no,
absolutely.
thank you so much, obviously, for sharing that, Simon. I know people get value from that. And mate, as I say, looking forward to a even bigger year this year. So congrats on
Oh,
everything so far.
thanks, Will. Can't wait.
Amazing.
Cool.
Perfect, mate. Thank you.